I've actually worked with her father in one of the one of the television serial, and at that time I think she was what, 1 year old.
I think for me it was what time are you coming home, and me saying fine, I'm just there only, but coming back after 2 hours.
We didn't have late nights, there was no question of that. There was an outer limit of maybe 7:30, 8 o'clock.
आपकी तारीफ बिल्कुल नहीं की जाती है, आपके अचीवमेंट को बिल्कुल भी रिकॉग्नाइज नहीं किया जाता है. अगर किया भी जाता है तो अपने दिल में रख लिया जाता है.
Like I would never have the guts to go up to like David Chacha and say, you have to launch me, please launch me. I'm very proud of the family I come from. I'm very excited about watching all their movies.
And I'm so proud of my children that they're trying to do what they're trying to do on their own, without my help. It makes me feel very proud when I see Shahid where he has reached. Sometimes when I do a little bit of a youthful masti with them to give them a glimpse of what I might have been as a young little boy, they get a little like this. Dad, I have told my grandchildren that when you come to Baba's house, there are no rules for you.
Hello everyone, welcome to Showsha. I am Titas Chowdhury in conversation with Anjini Dhawan, Pankaj Kapur and Rajesh Kumar. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
All good.
All good? Great.
जी.
So सबसे पहले तो अंजनी ये बताइए कि were you nervous working with such stalwarts on your first ever film?
You know,
Legends.
yeah.
को भी बुला रहा.
Why not?
No, I feel like I was nervous before going on shoot. I think once I reached shoot, they made me very comfortable. So I was fine.
Okay, not nervous at all on set while even you were doing scenes with them.
No. There's no potential only to be nervous on set, no? You have to focus on your performance and the film. If you're nervous, then udhar hi gaya.
That's true.
Yeah.
How would you rate her on her first performance? Let's say the first scene you shot with her. What did you think of her?
I felt she's very confident and she was very natural. I mean, I was asked this question earlier also, and I said that she was not like any other newcomer because I suppose she comes from a film family. She's exposed to cinema. She knows what cinema is, how it is made. And she's a smart young kid. So she was prepared with what she was doing. She was comfortable. There was no nervousness around her. At least not that one felt.
Did you add something to that?
Nothing. I've actually worked with her father in one of the one of the television serial, and at that time I think she was what, 1 year old.
Yeah, 1, 2. Yeah.
How lovely.
तो हाँ, मतलब हम लोग
वहाँ से
यहाँ तक. So for her, I never made her feel that she's missing her father.
Yeah, because they're actually very
I do
similar.
not have daughters, so I found one in her.
Oh, that's
And
sweet.
also definitely as an actor, you know, आज का जो setup है आज के युग में उस में देखूं तो I would rate her 9.5 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
0.5 की सुधार होना चाहिए.
हाँ, वो हमेशा
It's always room for improvement.
Yeah. I promise you, I'm not asked either of them to say anything. हाँ. मैंने पहले से notes नहीं भेजे थे.
9.5 is
Yeah, because आप उम्मीद ही नहीं करते हैं कि सेट पे जब स्क्रिप्ट के बिना, you know, first time she is coming on the set, she does not have a script in her hand. कि एक कॉन्फिडेंस की कमी वहीं से पता चलती है कि, you know, you always have a script in the hand when you are on set. तो लाइनें इसको कंठस्थ पूरे अच्छे से याद करके, और I doubt कि she ever went for second take, third take. मतलब खास करके जो बड़े बड़े सीन्स थे, she actually did it in one go and one flow. और कंटिन्यूटी का ख्याल रखना वो एक बहुत मैं आज तक नहीं सीख पाया. इस टेक में प्रॉपर्टी यहाँ होती है, इस टेक में यहाँ होती है. But she was alert. She was alert, and that's.
She came all prepared.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow. See, such great words already. It's a good precedent, I think, we are setting. कि movie के बाद तो अभी audience का reaction भी मिलेगा. I'm hoping that will be as good as this.
Yeah, even I'm hoping.
But you know, this is to the both of you. आप लोगों ने कई सारे young actors के साथ भी काम किया है. It has been, you know, years that you have been working with them. I'm sure you also learn a lot from them, you know, when you work. Much like the young actors when they work with you and they learn. What is your takeaway from this young energy, her or any other young actors you've worked with?
I think first thing is that this generation knows a lot more about today than we do. So I think it's important that you recognize that energy that knowledge that they have about today's times and try and be a part of that so that you become a little more today's as compared to being yesterday's. So that's something that I think always stays in case you're open. Like my father was a professor in college and he used to say that I always stay young because I have company of youngsters. So I am teaching youth at the same time I'm learning from them. So if you have that kind of an attitude where you're ready to not make it evident and obvious, but at the same time be observant and be humble enough to say that, well, this generation has these good points, and these are the ones that I can pick up, and some of them I can imbibe in myself even at this age to make myself a little more today's. That's how I think would be my take on today's youngster.
Yeah, okay. What about you?
अभी तो मैं जवान हूँ. No, definitely मतलब जो सर कह रहे हैं I second to that because बहुत सारी चीजों से आप अपडेट या अपग्रेड नहीं हो पाते हैं समय पे, and they are already इनके अंदर ये already iPhone 16 है and you have to upgrade yourself to their kind of thinking, that the way they talk, the way they sit, the way now they want to have conversation with you.
Yeah.
इनको किस्सों कहानियों में उतनी दिलचस्पी नहीं होती है. They are moving very fast. So कहीं ना कहीं to keep them something which is very interesting and meaty for them. So it's more of working on yourself, to upgrade yourself, and they always keep you on toes because जैसे अगर मैं यूनिट की ही बात करूँ ना, कि जहाँ भी आजकल खास करके जहाँ भी शूटिंग हो रही है, सर भी नोटिस किए होंगे कि पूरा एक यंगस्टर का लॉट ही है, जो चाहे वो एडीज हो, चाहे वो कॉस्ट्यूम में हो, कि हर डिपार्टमेंट में एक एज ग्रुप जो है वो सडनली 20s वाला आ गया है. सो द वे दे वर्क एंड द वे अभी मतलब जिस तरह से वो करते हैं, आपको लिटरली कदम से कदम मिलाना पड़ता है.
बिल्कुल.
मतलब यू कैन नॉट हैव दैट लेड बैक एटीट्यूड एंड से कि मैं आ रहा हूँ, बिकॉज दे कैन नॉट वेट कि चलिए सर बुला रहे हैं, या इज वॉकिंग. I mean, there is a very unsaid energy on the set because of these youngsters.
Yeah.
So I think कि उसकी वजह से हम लोगों की स्पाइन हमेशा सीधी रहती है.
That's right. You're right, on your toes. It's about that.
Yeah.
When you had started out, sir, from then to now, let's talk about her, and she's also now starting out. What's the biggest difference that you see in you as a debut actor and in her as a debut actor?
Well, I made my debut on stage. There's a lot of difference in that.
On-screen debut, I'm talking.
On-screen debut, because I was a well-versed actor on stage, so my screen debut was actually international. It was Gandhi film where I did a small part as Gandhi's secretary. And I was like a student. I mean, I was a hungry student ready to learn. And I did not want to tell anybody that I am a seasoned actor on stage and I've done so many plays or whatever, though I was picked up by the director after seeing a play of mine only. But one carried that desire to learn and humility to be able to say, I know nothing, and to be able to say, even the slightest thing that I can gather from the actors around me, from the unit, from the director, from the writers, from the entire team for that matter, would be a welcome addition to my knowledge of the subject that I've chosen to be my main principal subject for the rest of my life.
Sure.
So that was the kind of attitude with which one sort of stepped into cinema. And to tell you honestly, even today, it's been good maybe 47, 48 years since I've been working as a professional actor. I still, when I feel that when I step onto sets, that desire is still there. Because I think जिसे हिंदुस्तानी में कहते हैं ना, उस वक्त उसका बीज बो दिया गया था, उस ख्वाहिश का, पनपने की ख्वाहिश का, और ज़्यादा ऊपर बढ़ने की ख्वाहिश का, बड़ा होने की ख्वाहिश का, enrich होने की ख्वाहिश का, उसका बीज उस वक्त बोया गया था. When I was barely, as I said, maybe 25, 26, that tree is still growing. That tree has not come to a standstill. there is still desire within the branches to be able to extend themselves, to be able to have a few more fresh leaves, to be able to see if a few more fruits can be born by this. And as the years pass by, imbibe as much as you can from the environment around.
Sure.
And in the process of working, to be able to have your roots deeper and deeper. So that's the attitude with which one had begun, and with God's grace, it has stayed with me even today.
How inspiring.
Thank you.
You know, coming to the film Binny and Family, जो हम देखते हैं, there's this generation gap and communication gap, of course, which we all have faced, right? You know, with our grandparents, parents. But tell me, to all of you, what was the biggest point of conflict you had with your parents? एक बात जिसमें सहमति कभी होती नहीं थी.
I think for me it was, what time are you coming home? And me saying, fine, I'm just there only, but coming back after 2 hours. I think that's still an ongoing battle. I don't think this battle is ever going to end in my house.
That's a universal problem.
Yeah. If I'm as soon as, on my way.
Yeah.
That only.
So what about you?
I think I was very lucky. My mother used to worry a lot about the same thing. About, we didn't have late nights, there was no question of that.
Yeah.
There was an outer limit of maybe 7:30, 8 o'clock. We had to be home because my dad would finish his tuitions by about 9:30, and the house would retire at 9:30, 10 at night. So we had to be there to be seen by the parents that we are home. I was very fond of playing and very fond of kite flying. Okay. Kite flying in the daytime, I would even quietly go up the stairs and fly my kites or whatever without letting anybody know. But the main problem with my mother was the timing, that I was not home. And my dad was, as I said in many interviews, one of the most amazing people.
Yeah.
He was a friend of mine.
Yeah.
He let me do what I wanted to do. And at the same time, he was very protective. He saw to it that I don't go wrong. So all his suggestions were like a very wise friend who you trusted completely. So in my case, I don't think I had anything that my parents stopped me from. My mother more tried to stop me, or was a little more careful about where I am, etc. But my father was very open to whatever I wanted to do. The only thing, till 9th standard, he never asked me to study. It is only after 9th standard that he said, "Beta, look into your books now, because
board exams.
Board exams are coming up." Till then, he never said that. So I was very fortunate from that, and I come from a small town.
Yeah.
But despite that, my father having that attitude helped me to reach where I've reached today.
Beautiful. What was your point of conflict?
अभी भी एक struggle चल रहा है, very unsaid appreciation का. आपकी तारीफ बिल्कुल नहीं की जाती है, आपके अचीवमेंट को बिल्कुल भी रिकॉग्नाइज नहीं किया जाता है. अगर किया भी जाता है तो अपने दिल में रख लिया जाता है. Last 7 years, I had given myself to agriculture completely.
Yes.
And my father, he's 78, 79, and he's still a farmer. He's in the farm. लेकिन क्या हुआ कि वो 7 सालों में मैंने बहुत ट्रैवल किया, बहुत कुछ खेती बाड़ी के बारे में सीखा. And I literally gave myself. It was like doing +2, then graduation and masters.
Yeah.
I mean, today I can sit on any platform on this planet and I can talk about agriculture and everything related to agriculture. But my father doesn't appreciate that. So today, if I go with some new technology, some new thought, which I have seen or I have data of, he says, "Okay, ठीक है, ये ठीक है, ये ठीक है, ये काम नहीं करेगा, हम बताते हैं क्या हो सकता है." So that struggle is still on. That film आई सर के शाहिद के साथ मैंने एक फिल्म की. उस शहर में गया, जैसे शहर में बिहार में जहाँ जीवन की शुरुआत हुई थी, वहाँ आपकी पहली फिल्म लगी है एक तरह से ना. तो मैंने इनको बोला, मैंने कहा गाँव के इतने सारे लोग यहाँ पे एक बार लेके चले जाइए, क्योंकि यहीं से जीवन की शुरुआत हुई थी. आज वहाँ बड़े पर्दे पे दिख रहे हैं. आप तो यहीं पे चोरी छुपे जाते थे राजेंद्र कुमार की पिक्चर देखने और दिलीप साहब की फिल्म देखने. हाँ, ये करेंगे, ये बहुत बढ़िया है. मैं फॉलो करता रह गया. फिल्म 4 हफ्ते रही, मतलब it was a super hit film.
Yeah.
It stayed, and every day I used to call, अब गए क्या देखने. अरे ठीक है, जब देखा जाएगा हो जाएगा, चला जाएगा. So there is no appreciation. So I'm still struggling.
Oh no. But I think you're right. It must be there, but we don't know,
They
right?
don't know
Yeah,
how
you must have
Yeah.
secretly watched it also behind your back.
Exactly.
हाँ,
हो
वो हो सकता है.
Quite possible. At the trailer launch, Anjini, Varun was also saying that, the idea was never to have somebody from your family launch you, or him for that matter. Was that conversation something that happened really early on at home when you told them that I want to be an actor?
It was never even a conversation.
Or it was
It
understood?
was understood. It was never even a conversation.
Okay.
Like I would never have the guts to go up to like David Chacha and say, "You have to launch me. Please launch me." It was
Yeah.
not a question. It's never been like that in my family. So conversation, though, no, not at all.
But
I
you
think-
never asked them for help in
No.
terms of contacts or something.
There was never that space to ask was never there because it's always been whether it's like anyone in the family, my dada or anybody else, it's always been like you will achieve what you genuinely deserve.
Right.
Once you do that, you have everyone's love, support, blessing, everything, which has been true. I think since the film's journey is now like coming to an end because we're done shooting, it's close to release. Now I have everyone's support
Yeah.
in terms of like the help that you're mentioning. It's now, but to get the film, absolutely not. Everyone found out only after I signed the film. Because
Oh.
I didn't even want to tell them because I thought there'll be 100 opinions. And I was so confident that this is the film I wanted to start my career with because the story was so personal to me
Yeah.
that I didn't want to get confused because I do get influenced by like my family, of course, everyone does, but
Sure.
I wanted this decision to be mine.
That's great. But when you have a young star like Varun Dhawan at home, I'm sure that's inspiring his journey
Very.
also. But do you ever feel that sense of burden of his shadow looming over you that you have to be like him?
Not at all. I'm very proud of the family I come from. I'm very excited about watching all their movies and I'm the biggest fan in the house. I'm the biggest fan. So, no, nothing like that. If anything, I only get to learn and get inspired from him.
That's lovely. So I remember Shahid had once said that my father was too proud to call up filmmakers on my behalf. Was also this the similar thought that you wanted him to?
No, I have a different belief,
Okay. Yes.
which I got from my father, that a youngster, when they are growing up, they have to take decisions on their own.
Right.
They can consult their family, they can take suggestions from their family, but the decision making has to be the youngster's himself or herself, simply because that's what my father explained to me. If you fall down or if you flop, you will get up and say, what are the mistakes that I made, that I fell. If you become successful, you will pat your own back and say, I did it on my own. It was not because my dad said do this, so the credit is already gone to dad
Sure.
instead of to me. Instead, become a confident person and take on life yourself. Your family is always there to support you. They will always be there for you to fall back on. But if you do it on your own, and I'm so proud of my children that they're trying to do what they're trying to do on their own,
Right.
without my help, always aware that I'm right there. As and when they need, they just have to just do this and I'll be there. So that this is something that they were aware of, all of them were aware. So I would say that it makes me feel very proud when I see Shahid where he has reached, the kind of thinking that he has come up with in last 20 years of his career, the kind of maturity that he has shown in terms of choice of films that he is doing. If you see from where he started and what kind of cinema is he doing today, or what kind of work is he doing today, and I'm proud to say that without bias, in his age group, he is the finest actor we have in this country.
How lovely. But earlier, we're going to wrap this up, but before that, we don't have time. I wish I could continue the conversation, but no, I'm just saying earlier while we spoke about this point of conflict, between you and your parents' generation, because you both are fathers also, is that the same point of conflict that you have with your children, or is it different now?
I don't think there is a scope of any conflict now for
Yeah,
me.
okay.
Because one thing I learned from my father, जो मैंने पहले भी बोला था कि क्या नहीं करना है.
जी.
मतलब कई बार आप सीखते हैं क्या करना है. कुछ चीजें हैं जो नहीं करनी. because my father was little, I mean, he's still reserved.
Yeah.
थोड़ा खुले भी हैं तो बेटियों के साथ ज्यादा खुले हैं बशर्ते कि मेरे साथ. तो मुझे ये मालूम था और मेरे घर में 2 बेटे हुए तो कहीं ना कहीं जो थोड़ा बहुत फील किया वो सारी कमियां मैं ट्राई करता हूँ कि इनफैक्ट कुछ ओवर ही कर देता हूँ तो दोनों के रिएक्शन वैसे ही आते हैं कि इतनी जरूरत है नहीं अब रहने की, मतलब ठीक है.
What about you, sir?
As I told you, what I got from my father, I have extended
Oh,
it to my
passed-
children.
So
I
you're
pass
also
it on.
like a friend figure. To
I am like a friend to them.
Yeah.
I sometimes they get surprised because
Yeah.
obviously they have a certain image of me.
Yeah.
You all of us do have.
Sure.
And sometimes when I do a little bit of a youthful masti with them to give them a glimpse of what I might have been as a younger boy, they get a little like this, Dad, you. It becomes a bit like that, but which adds a few more years to your life.
But you also come across as a really fun grandfather, spoiling your grandchildren rotten. Are you like one of those?
I think I am, yes. I mean, like my grandson, some cousin of theirs was coming with them to my house,
Right.
and she said that, what should I be calling him? I mean, you guys call him Baba. What should I call him? And this little thing of mine, my grandson, he said, you can just call him a no rule man.
Oh,
Because I have told my grandchildren that when you come to Baba's house,
right.
there are no rules for you.
Lovely.
You can do what you want to do. So this is what is their high. That we are in Baba's house, we don't have to ask, can I do this? Can I do that? You can do what you want. I'm right there seeing that they don't do anything wrong. If anything wrong is happening, I will stop them. But it's just a feeling.
Yeah.
Not that they are stopped from anything from their own house or in their parents' house, but just a feeling of, well, we have this liberty in this house where nobody's going to stop us from anything at all. So that's the kind of, I mean,
Beautiful.
it's very natural for a grandfather
Yes.
to feel like that towards your grandchildren.
Absolutely.
And once you see the film, you would realize that indulgence is reflective in the film. as well.
Sure. Yes, absolutely joyous to be at your grandparents' house. I think we'll all
Yeah, I think
resonate with that sentiment. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to be told
Yeah.
that you can do whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's nice to be told.
Great. Thank you so much to all three of you for this chat.
Thank
Looking
you.
forward to Binny and Family. I think all of us will resonate in bits and parts with the dynamic that we are going to see.
Full film.
The full film. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.